Good afternoon. This is the House Appropriations Committee. It is Wednesday, January 29th, 2025. It's about 2:20 p.m. and we are back from a quick break to talk about the property transfer tax language in the Budget Adjustment Act. So we have Ted Barnett, Senior Fiscal Analyst from Joint Fiscal Office, to join us. So Ted, why don't you come on to the table? And we have lots of new members since whenever it was you were here last, which was probably last year.
Exactly. This is my first time in the session.
We will introduce ourselves so you can get to know who everybody is that's here.
Good afternoon. I'm Dave Iacovoni from Morrisville. I represent Memorial, Washington. Okay.
Hi, Mike Nigro, I represent Huntington and Powell.
Tom Stevens of Waterbury, representing the Washington Chittenden District.
Jim Harrison from the town of Chittenden.
Robin Shy from Middlebury.
Tiff Blumley from Burlington.
Trevor Squirrel, Underhill and Jericho.
Wayne Rush, Highgate, Franklin, Berkshire, and Richford.
Richard from Wyndham 4, Putney and Dumps.
And then Lynn Dickinson from St. Albans Town is right next to Mike, and John Kosenska from Burke and representing 10 towns should be here any minute, I think. So let us talk about the property transfer tax.
Great. For the record, Ted Barnett, Joint Fiscal Office. Yes, property transfer tax allocations. Just a bit of a warning, they can make heads hurt. It's certainly made my head hurt before, but hopefully this memo makes things a little more, or makes things clear for y'all, or clear as mud, however it goes. This memo pertains to section 3, item 3 of section 50 in the BAA, the governor's recommended BAA. And these are the allocations of for the Municipal and Regional Planning Fund. Their Act 181, through changes made to the property transfer tax, allocated an additional $1.2, almost $1.3 million to the Municipal and Regional Planning Fund. And there was not clear intent for that funding. So the BAA added language to that offered one way to clear up this intent. And what they did is allocate the full $9 million that was due to the MRPF, with both the base amount that was in the budget and the additional amount that was in Act 181. It took that total of $9 million and ran it through the underlying statutory allocation, the percentages that are in 24 BSA 4306. And those allocations, it's 70% to the regional planning commissions, 20% to municipalities for various planning activities, and then finally 10% to the Vermont Center for Geographic Information. And so those allocations compared to the budget are shown on that first table. And what the result is that regional planning gets almost $70,000 less than they would have, or what they were allocated in the budget. And municipal planning and the Vermont Center for Geographic Information will receive way more under those statutory percentages. The second piece here is that these statutory allocations are frequently not withstood in section D100 of the budget. And so Act 113, fiscal year 25 budget, allocated larger shares to regional planning, or larger share to regional planning, and a lower share to municipalities and the Vermont Center for Geographic Information. And so the next table on the back of the page shows the budgetary percentages, the ratios between those three uses compared to statute. And you can see, right, regional planning commissions get in the budget, get 82.4% compared to the statutory 70%. And then the municipal planning and Vermont Center for Geographic Information percentages are less in the budget. So this memo presents an alternative, which instead of allocating the $9 million to the MRPF, according to the statutory percentages, if you applied the 82.4%, the 12%, the 5.6% to the $9 million, you would get the amounts that are shown in the third table. So 7.4 million to regional planning, $1 million to municipal planning, 500,000 to the Vermont Center for Geographic Information. And it shows that everyone receives in this construct more than what they receive in the budget. in the fiscal year 25 budget.
So we're following what we actually put in the budget last year, what we were hoping to accomplish. It was a little bit more clear that way. That other act kind of messed things up, Act 181, which was a different housing bill. This is why it's good to have things in fewer bills, because we end up with these kind of situations. So this is the proposal to resolve that issue. Do people have questions about it? Does this make sense, what the thinking and the logic is behind what we're doing here? Right?
This makes sense to me now, yes.
Yeah.
I was struggling to figure out where those numbers come from, but now it all makes sense.
Right, okay. Okay. Does anybody else have any questions about this or any concerns about this? Jim?
Have the various parties that get this appropriation, are they, I mean, I would assume the regional planning is likes this much better than the first one. How about the other two groups? Depending on insight. I mean, I have no idea. It's not the big loser on this new allocation is the whatever you call it, the
Global, no, wait,
the
Center for Geographic.
right, and are they kind of allocated money in their budget already for that, or I'm just asking?
They're in the ADS budget, and I believe this is what has been determined that they need to operate.
What?
The 506 is
Yes,
fine.
yes.
Oh, okay, not the 900 or whatever.
Right, correct, yes.
Okay, that's,
Yep.
that was me.
That would have been a wildly huge increase, more than double what they usually have, from
And
436
how
to
about the
905.
municipal planning? I don't have any idea how that's divided up.
I don't either. I don't, this should be, about us. And they talked to us about the regional planning commissions, but they did not talk to us.
I mean, the fact is, everybody gets more money.
Right.
Yeah, no, I know. I
Yeah.
just didn't know if, municipal planning had already been planning on 1.8 million, knowing that this proposal is coming forward and therefore, kind of already allocated. I'm just
That's a good
presupposing.
question.
That's my question. And maybe it's not a big issue because they never knew they were potentially being recommended to get
Right.
double what they originally had.
Tom.
I think in this category, the use of the property transfer tax, these organizations, this is the first time I've seen this breakdown, but in general, what I've gathered is that their budgets are much more stable. And so the allotments would be, doubling their allotment was probably like,
What do we
that's
do?
a Christmas we don't need.
Yeah.
As
Okay.
opposed to the other side, which would be, oh my goodness, we can build more houses.
I'm totally fine with
Yeah.
this, and I guess if we find out after the fact that there are problems, there's.
Who would we
that
check
chamber
with
that,
around municipal planning?
That you can just compliment.
I think that's, is it ACCD, I think that's where the dollars flow through. So they may have some information on how it's actually distributed, I'm not certain, I mean. This was in the governor's changing the distribution, I don't know how widely distributed it was.
Right.
ACCD they might have an answer.
I can check with them. I mean, this.
Okay, well, you guys, this is one of those that happened to me last year too.
Oh,
Two of you have it. If whoever wants to check and just let them know, this is what we're planning to do.
Okay.
Then we can get that, close that loop, and then we can officially agree. But assuming they agree with that, is this committee comfortable with these numbers? Assuming everybody's okay with it? Okay, all right. Any more questions for Ted? Ted, thank you very much.
Of course.
We appreciate it. Thanks to you again for something.
Oh, sure.
Sometime.
Yes.
So, all right, so you guys can go figure that out. And it's 2:30. I don't know, are we gonna have Brady?
So Brady said possibly 30, he's working on something,
Okay,
so.
let's check back here at 3:30. This gives you time to have other meetings and do whatever you need to do. And this is, like I said, our start and stop. Hurry up and wait.